You're probably wondering why I'm doing that. It's because I still have my socks on and I have hardwood floors. So I'm going to benefit a little bit from that. And you're also probably wondering why I'm out here in my dining room. Well, I started to realize that I have a pretty cool setup in my second bedroom that I made into a studio. Here, come watch. Follow me. It's no secret that the most important part about tennis is getting to the ball. It's not actually the stroke itself. You start to realize these high-level tennis players and professional tennis players, they have absolutely jacked legs and a pretty skinny upper body. Obviously, Nadal's kind of an exception because he's kind of a thick boy all around. But the idea of having your legs do 75% of the work in a sport is pretty counterintuitive to what most people that aren't well versed in tennis would initially think of. For example, if you're playing a point out in singles and you obviously want to win the point to the best of your ability and it's a competitive tennis point, how many steps do you actually take before you swing the racket once? I did a few metrics in my head while I'm training with some of my hitting partners and when I'm also instructing my more talented, higher level juniors that are bound to play Division 1 after they graduate high school. And their footwork is anywhere between 8 to 15 steps per tennis stroke if the ball is actually coming to them. Obviously, if you're sprinting from the baseline to the net, you're going to be moving your feet about 12 to 15 steps nonetheless. But even if the ball is coming at you and it's within a reach, you should really be moving your feet and setting up and taking these small adjustment steps to really maximize your potential of striking the ball aggressively. This drill is arguably the most punishing drill for your legs that I'll be talking about in this vlog. And it still does incorporate a good amount of playing out the points, which I'm a huge fan of. Because if you're just practicing one stroke and you actually don't play the point out to a certain extent, you're really not training yourself mentally after hitting that one stroke to be able to complete and finish that point. The drill that I'm going to explain to you now is one that it really kicked my ass, and as you'll see in this footage, I'm gasping for breath, and I consider myself a pretty high-level tennis player that's in pretty decent shape given my age and what my body's been through. So the first part of this drill, because there's two parts, is Brian is going to feed me a running backhand where I start about 2 or 3 feet inside of the deuce, because I'm a righty, inside of the deuce singles sideline at the baseline. And my target is the middle third of the court, so Brian is able to start the point and we play it out afterwards. Pretty simple, right? And that's okay. After you do this for about 15 minutes, you're gonna probably need to take a break every 2 to 3 minutes, because if you're doing this right and your hitting partner on the other side of the net is really pushing you and playing the points out and trying to win, you're gonna be taking a lot of steps and you're gonna be doing a lot of sprinting. And that's exactly what you came here. Now, the second part of this drill is you're starting in the exact same position, about 2 to 3 feet inside of the single sideline on the due side, and then you have to hit a running run-around forehand, again, to the middle third of the court, and your partner across the net is feeding you the exact same feed. This is where I actually had to take a break every 1 to 1.5 minutes just because I was absolutely exhausted. And I would highly encourage you, when you guys are moving for these run around backhands to hit this forehand in this part of the drill, that you really take good care of yourself and bring a lot of water, because if you're doing it right, you should feel exhausted after every 2 to 3 points that your partner feeds you. And I would highly suggest not even sprinting for these forehands. Get in position and backpedal. Check out this footage.
Nice shot.
I know this is one of the more straightforward vlogs, and I didn't go into any philosophical rants. Been thinking about a lot of stuff lately, given what's going on in the US as this video is coming out. And I just want to emphasize that I'm very thankful for you guys, because this whole YouTube thing, it's not even necessarily about me, but given the traction that I've gotten in this channel, it shows that I'm able to help people and also entertain them at the same time. So it's definitely a very good feeling to have when I wake up and at the end of the day that you guys are out here and you guys are hungry to become better tennis players, and watching an idiot like me ramble on a little bit too much. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, feel free to hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and then consider hitting subscribe to my channel for weekly, unbiased tennis string reviews, some high-level 4-5 match play, and more content similar to this where I talk about some things in my life and what drill I could show you guys for developing and upcoming singles players that are really, really willing to push themselves. And as always, happy hitting.